in that weight class, and Beeble has one. They'll
Yeah.
probably fight
And if you've
twice.
been to Benavidez, you want to get both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And those two fights, even if you can wait, even if one takes one out and you fight the champion first and then fight the other one as the challenge for your belt. You know what I'm saying? You're still looking at least 50 to 75 million easy to walk away with. And those are big numbers for a fighter who hasn't been the headline of a lot of fights, at least
yeah,
on the pay-per-view side.
yeah. I mean, I feel like, when you think about that situation, right? When you think about moving up to 175, and like you said, with Better Beef and Beeble right there, those are two mega fights. Those are and those are fights that he can get. He was not able to get that Canelo fight at 168. Canelo Alvarez wanted too much money. Right now, total power punches landed through 5 rounds. Adamas 21, Gausha has 15. And Gausha's last round, he had 8 power punches landed. That was his best round so far. And Adamas is just backing Gausha up with those body blows, man. He's just backing him up. He's throwing with very bad intentions. I don't feel like he feels like Gausha could hurt him, So I feel like he's now marching in and looking to take him out. 6 rounds out of 12 has gone by. This is 103 left in the six right here. If you're watching, then Gausha he has on the white and red, and Adamas has on red, green, gold, white, blue. He looks like he got a lot of colors, but the trunks are red. So right now we got Adamas moving forward, trying to land that power punch, and I just don't feel like Gauch is throwing his hands enough in this fight, uh, and landing. He's throwing the hands, but he's not landing enough. He's moving, he's on his back foot, and it's rare that you have fighters that's very good at that back foot. And Gauch is kind of stuck in that corner, moves out of the corner. Adamas should be looking to cut the ring off completely. And I think that he's letting Gausha move around the ring. And this could be dangerous for a fighter, because if you get desperate, one punch is all it takes to end a fight. So if you got a guy like moving backwards, you got a guy that's not putting up, not as accurate as you, not moving around like you move, not moving forward like you move, you got to take that guy out, because you could leave him in the fight until the 12th round, and then he get hit, boom, changes the whole narrative of the fight.
Yeah,
I
no
think the other
question.
fighter's scared.
Yeah,
From looking at it right now, the other fighter, I'm not gonna say scared. I hate to use that word. I don't know if he's practiced or how to beat whatever defense that he's saying. It feels like he's thinking about his punches too much and not it doesn't have a way to attack. And
yeah.
in any fight like that, you might as well throw in the towel because you ain't gonna do nothing but take a beating.
Yes, I
Ah, for
agree with that.
real.
No, it's very serious when you you just getting beat up for 12 rounds. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body. Here we are, round 7, Adamas versus Gausha for the WBC middleweight world title. And right now, Adamas should be up big on the scorecards. This is the 100th event at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. This is the big 100 right here. It's been 100 fights at the MGM Grand, from the likes of Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, and now Tank Davis, who essentially runs the MGM Grand. You always have a boxer that runs that venue, and right now it seems to be Tank Davis running the venue. And you got a back and forth a little bit here between Adamas and Gausha, where they're just kind of trading a little bit, but Adamas seems to be getting the best of these situations. Right now, Gausha is moving forward. Adamas is on his back foot. This has probably been the first time all fight I could really say that Gausha is just coming at him, and it ends up being where he's back on that. Oh, he just landed a big overhand right. Adamas lands a big overhand right. Gausha is hurt. Not hurt bad, though. Oh, man, Adamas left. He got him. He is not throwing punches, Gausha. Okay, threw a punch back, so the fight will not be stopped. I think that was a really big opportunity for Adamas. When you get to that situation, you land a power punch like that, you got to take advantage of it. You got to be a killer at that point. You got to be willing to take the next fighter out. 7 out of 12 rounds gone past here in the WBC middleweight world title. 1 minute left in this round. And this round, I would have to give it to Adamas as well. It's like Adamas has dominated this fight clearly. And he's landing the heavier blows. He's moving forward. He's holding ring generalship. His defense is better. I mean, he's been all around better in this fight. So one of these fighters might be fighting Bud Crawford potentially. You know, they in a 160-pound weight class. I think Bud might retire after if he gets, maybe, and I'm not saying that he won't or that he will, but I think Bud Crawford is like, eyeing retirement. Right now, he's just moved up to the 154-pound weight class to have to go up against Madrimov, for a title. And so I don't know if he stays at 154 forever. I think that he's really chasing that Canelo Alvarez fight because that is the big fight for him. And maybe he can, fight Canelo and retire at a high if he can get that victory.
Yeah, man. The Bud Crawford one is interesting to me. It's going to be interesting to see. So you say one of these guys could potentially fight Bud?
Well, yeah, technically, because right now, Bud, I think, is trying to make his way up to Canelo's weight class, which is at 168. His next fight is at
Oh, okay.
he's been fighting at 147. He was the welterweight undisputed world title champion. And so
Ooh.
he's moving to 54. But to get to Canelo, he has to go either through 60 or jump 60, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah.
get what you.
Yeah, and right now, Carlos Adames is the 160-pound weight world champion, and he's defending his title here.
So he's the one who landed that big punch?
Adames, yes.
Man, that was a big right he landed. I
Man,
mean,
it
he
was.
landed it like, kind of close to the temple area.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that guy you got to say the guy got a chin on him to take a punch like that.
Oh, yeah,
That's
for
a
sure.
mean joint.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I know a lot of fighters say this fighter ain't got a chin or this fighter got a chin or whatever. It's hard to make it to this weight class without, to the world title championship fights without having somewhat of a decent chin. And right now, Joe Goose's scorecard has Adames up in every round except for the fifth round where he gave that to Gausha, and it's a dominating fight right now. He has it 69-64. Right now, I pretty much got the same. I wouldn't even probably even Gausha. That's a swing round, maybe, and so maybe you give that to Gausha just for the scorecard to look good. But I mean, he's been dominated in this fight. I don't feel like he's boxing half as good as Adames. And Adames is on that front foot. Eighth round, 2 minutes left.
Yeah, this is definitely a good fight. I would say Gasha, he lets his hands go, but he doesn't let them go enough. Like he's just throwing a jab out there, then he, guarding up. Like, bro, like you scared of the power or something that's in front of you. You gotta throw your hands. You got this is what we talking about with AB. You gotta let your hands go, bro. You can be a
Yeah.
good fighter. Why come to the world title? The world
Hey,
middleweight
hey,
title
hey,
and,
Big
and
Son,
don't fight, bro.
Big Son. The reason why you don't let your hands go is because you ain't trying to get knocked out.
I can
That's the
agree
only
with
reason why
that.
you don't let your hands go. That's why they be in defense so long because they trying not to get hit. They tired of getting beat up.
He almost hit him
Well,
again with that overhand right.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man. Yeah,
that's what
see
I'm
Well,
there
saying.
you go. Good combination.
I would say
So the
this.
thing is,
Eight,
he's fighting from too far. He not fighting close enough. That's the problem. The other fighter, what's his name? With the
Gausha.
Bronco shorts on.
Adama.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gausha.
his jab is keeping him at bay, and every punch he throws to him is like he don't like getting hit, so he's backing up. So when he's trying to return fire, he not within distance to throw no punches. That's why I've been
Yeah.
looking like he's been backing up all night, and he only got one punch. Like you said, he needs to throw some combos or something like that. But it's
Yeah,
it's, it's hard to make a
Billy Ray
fighter that
got
don't
one punch.
fight like that though. And
yeah, I agree. His shoes look way better than his fight game. The
yeah,
shoes on the chain. I like the shoes. That's about it.
Say his shoes better than his fight game.
Yeah, shoes. I was more interested in the shoes in the fight game.
I think Gaucher just landed his best punch of the night, which was the overhand right. And while it did affect Adamas, he's still right there. He's still right
Ooh,
there.
and he gave it right back to him.
Yeah, yeah. But I think when you see this back and forth fighting, right? You see two guys that's just going back and forth. It's always about the
Uh,
guy that's forward
I
going
think the other guy, I think Gasha is just hitting him back because he got hit. You know, Mama said, "You hit me, I gotta hit you back." Because every time he gets hit, like Vito said, it's like he running from each other, like you hit me, like I gotta hit you back though. Because Mama said, if you hit me, I gotta hit you back. Like, come on, brother, bro. I'm tired of these suckers, these new suckers, bro. Back in the day, that round, we probably will never see another round like that with Hagler and Hitman, how they came out. We probably will never see another round like that in boxing. I'm sorry.
that's
Like that's what I miss.
that's known to most boxing fans as the best round of boxing ever.
Ever, bruh.
And
Ever.
I'm gonna be real, as a guy that likes the sweet science, I do not feel like that was a great boxing display, but I do feel like that was the best round ever because you had two guys that was looking to take each other's heads off. Forget the
I
skill.
mean,
You know, the
bruh,
skill
I
go
mean,
out the
them
window.
boys came in there and just
Yeah,
went straight to work. It
yeah,
wasn't no punch the clock. It wasn't
yeah,
no I gotta go tie my shoe. It
yeah.
was I ain't got enough Vaseline. Man, let's work. And that's what I miss about boxing.
Total punches landed. Gaucher actually has landed more. Well, I landed, excuse me, six less punches than Adamas. His best round being round seven, where he landed 20 total punches, and Adamas landed, excuse me, 19 total punches in that fight in that round. So, I mean, that was a really good round. But like you said, I don't think we'll see another round like that ever.
Man.
I don't. But at the same time, styles make fights, right? So Tommy the Hitman Hearns is a guy that was moving forward most of the time in his fights. Marvin Hagler the same way. So if you got two guys that just go forward, it's a collision course. It's a
Yeah,
collision course.
that was a damn good collision course. I'm telling you
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Sometimes skills got to go out the window. You just got to go out there and fight, and
Yeah.
that's why that's one of the best rounds in boxing that I've ever seen. Because while I do enjoy defensive prowess, when you got guys that's literally like, I'm coming in here to win right here, right now. I'm going to show you that I'm coming in here to win. You know,
Hmm.
I think that can outclass even skill sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. But when if like but to Vito's credit, the fighters nowadays, they like you say, they're not throwing their hands as much. Some of these fighters don't like getting hit as much. You know, you we don't got no spinks running around here. You
I
know,
mean, I mean,
running down
I
on
don't feel
shots
that
to the
way.
head.
I feel like it's a
And
guy right
still
now.
rumbling.
Hey, Big Son, I feel like it's a guy that fights tonight. He is not on this card. He's actually on the matchroom card. Sabrel Matias versus
Uh,
Liam Paro, right? So we'll definitely give you guys an update on that fight when that fight does come on. But Sabrel Matias is a guy that reminds me of them old school fighters. I want to move forward. I'm going to get hit. I don't care. I'm just going to walk through you. You know, something like a Roberto Duran type of style.
yeah,
Sometimes.
Roberto Duran, what my Madonna. Yeah, Madonna. I mean, when was his last fight? Like what? Few
Now
years
Madonna,
ago?
Madonna been retired for a couple years now, probably about
Like
five
what?
years,
Six,
something like that.
six,
Yeah,
5, 6 years, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So Madonna wasn't that long ago. So I want to see them fighters again.
Well, I feel
Like,
like
all
it's a
right,
lot
you
of
hit me.
I feel
That's
like it's a
cool.
lot of
You hit
guys.
me. Uh,
I feel like it's a lot of guys like that.
well,
Um,
what's the dude? What's the dude? Tank knocked out. Pitbull Cruz.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Pitbull was coming like, all right,
yes,
yeah, you doing what you doing, whatever. I'm coming in
yes,
here. That's the
yes.
type of fight I like. You know,
Yeah.
no, it don't hurt for you to be up on your game. I don't mind you playing defense, but
Yeah.
remember, you gotta throw punches.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and you got to make them score the fight on in your favor. You
Yes.
know.
Pitbull Cruz actually broke the knockout streak of Tank Davis and went all 12 rounds with him.
Mm,
In that fight, Tank Davis broke his left hand and he had to beat Pitbull with one hand, which he did. In my opinion, a lot of people, they question that fight, but it was clear that he had one hand. And now that I'm speaking about that, I can talk about AB. Right. Before I get to AB, though, I'm gonna update you guys. This is the 10th round. Carlos Adames versus Gausha, and Carlos Adames is up on the scorecards big. I think it's 69 total punches landed out of 262. That's 26% for Adames, and 65 out of 329. That's 20% for Gausha. And this is the WBC middleweight world title. It is 2 minutes 30 seconds left, and right now in the 10th round. And right now, Carlos Adames is just kind of still moving forward. So
mm,
jump into Adrian Broner, right? Oh,
yeah.
excuse me. Before I get there, Joe Goosen actually has Gausha winning them last two rounds, which will make it an 87-84 round. Adames needs to win this round. If you look at Joe Goosen's scorecard, I probably would have gave the 8th round to Adames. I probably would have gave the 5th round to Adames. So I don't think this fight is that close. But by his, it's 87-84. And it's 3 rounds left. This round is a must-win round for Gausha if he wants to stay in this fight. It is a must-win round for Adames if he wants to close it out, if he wants to just get jump high up on the scorecard. So Adrian
Yeah,
Broner,
this is pretty close. It's pretty close right here.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like Goosen is just. I mean, I feel like Gausha has had the last 2 rounds have been better rounds than what he's had earlier in the fight, but I don't feel like he's done anything to Adames where you just feel like he's winning that round. These exchanges, I don't feel like Gausha is winning. I feel like he's boxing very well though right now. He is, moving back. Now that he's on his back foot, he's moving. Oh man, that's a heavy right hand over right hand. Uh, I feel like he's doing okay. Not enough to win these rounds though, in my opinion. Uh, but I've been trying to get to the Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner, uh, if I'm not mistaken, he 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 hurt his elbow and his shoulder in that fight when he was knocked down. He had to fight the rest of the fight on one hand, on one arm, basically. So if you go back and look at that fight, you can see that he wasn't throwing. I believe it was his right hand, very
Yeah,
much in
it was
that fight.
right. It was the right hand.
Yeah, yeah. So Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis said that they would welcome Adrian Broner back to train if if all of the medical things pass, if he gets back to health.
And I think AB will. Throughout AB's career, he's been a man of bounce back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He It was a point in his career where he got all flabby and out of shape and everything. Next couple months, everybody like, look at AB. That's him. Yeah, that's him. He bounced back. You know what I'm saying? So AB has bounced back all his career. So I'm looking forward to him doing the same thing here, taking the same approach and the same methods that he's been using all his career. So I'm looking forward to seeing AB back in the ring once he gets healed up. Everything gets back to normal. Can't wait
yeah.
to see AB back out there.
Yeah, I'd like to see Adrian Broner at full strength before I can like full strength. I want him to he was only with Kenny Ellis and Calvin Ford for 5 weeks throughout that fight camp. That's not really
Yeah.
enough time. Uh
Um,
but even though that wasn't enough time, he still was injured during the fight. It is very hard to win fights when you are injured.
mm,
And you can't really expect these fighters to win them uh injured. Tank beat Pitbull while injured. That was okay. Shakur Stevenson beat Dallas Santos while injured, and that's okay in two of the more recent fights. But that's not a way to win fights injured. So the health is very important. These fighters go in there and they put their life on the line in a battle.
Yeah, I agree. You got to go in there healthy. You don't
Yes,
want to go in there scarred up. You know,
yes, yes. So
because
we are
I
in
mean,
our
fighters have done it. Not like it hasn't been done before. I think Ali broke his hand or something like that. And got his jaw broken.
yeah,
I mean, for that happens in fights sometimes.
yes,
You
yes,
know.
yes. It is going to happen. Realistically, there is no way to not get injured in a fight. It's a fight. So
Mm.
it's the sweet science is hit and not get hit, but realistically, every fighter gets hit. You know, every fighter either throws a punch or a way that they shouldn't throw. Oh man, Adamas is just oh man, and it's going to be a timeout. That was a low blow. It was unintentional. However, I do not think that it was a Adamas low blow on Gausha. I do not think that it was intentional, so I do not think that he will get charged a point. You in these situations, we're going to explain this. The fighter has up to 5 minutes to gather themselves whenever they get hit with a low blow, and uh it looked like it was more in his hip than the area, right? But it looks like Gauch is going to continue. But fighters have up to 5 minutes to continue when hit with a low blow. So we have 130 left in the 11th round. This is
Hey,
11 out of
Gaucho,
12.
he also he should get an Oscar too. I just looked at that down. That was direct to the gut joint. You know what I'm saying? It might have been at the liver. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
But
I think it was more on the hip though. It's close to the hip though. I don't really feel like it was in his area, man.
it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't no nut shot.
Nah, not at all. And so Adamas and Gausha looks like they're going to go the distance here. No knockouts, which is a pretty big thing when you get up in these weight classes. The higher you go up, the more likely there is a knockout because the punches are heavier. Total punches thrown through round 11, 95 landed for Adamas out of 354, 91 out of 413, 92 out of 414 for Gausha. That's 22% for Gausha, 27% for Adamas. Pretty close fight, man. And when you think about the punch stats, but I just think that Adamas is
Yeah.
landing the heavier punches.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. The last 3 rounds, what I've been noticing is Adonis has been throwing his hands, but when Garsha lets his hands go, finally he lets them go like 2-3 punches
Yeah,
every time, and that's what he's been doing over the last 3 rounds. He must be listening to his coach. His coach probably told him, "Look, you got to let your hands go.
you got
Can't
to.
keep shooting about the wayside."
Yeah, this is boxing, and the rules to boxing is hit and don't get hit. The first rule is to hit, though. You know what
Thank
I
you,
mean? The first rule
thank
is
you.
to
In the
hit.
way,
Yeah,
wow, he just oh man, see the way Adama just taunted him. That remind me of like a schoolyard brawl. Like you get hit, dude run up on you, get the bucket and swing it. Like, bro, what's
I,
going on, man?
I
Hey,
agree.
gosh, you can't let that man run up on you like that, bro. You
I
got to
agree.
stick that jab out there. He run up on you like that.
Well, I think that good trainers, right? Good trainers know their fighter, right? Know how to motivate their fighter. And I really think Gausha needs a knockout here, you know. And when you listen to the corners, these corners are not like Customato was, you're blowing it, These are not
Yeah,
like, you know, these are guys aren't like, the greats of trainers. These guys are really good trainers, and they've gotten their fighters to championship level, so no knock on them, but you got to be a great trainer. You can't just be a good trainer when you're at the world class level. And this is 12
yeah,
out of 12 rounds. You know, Adamas versus Gausha, WBC middleweight world title fight here.
yeah, man. This turned out to be a good one.
Oh yeah, all four of these fights are going to be decent fights. We get a chance right now. Joe Goose's scorecard has Gausha winning the last 4 rounds, and he
That's
has it
crazy.
one.
If he win, oh man,
And he
that's
has
crazy. If he
Gausha.
win this round, he wins the fight. No, he's
Uh,
winning.
he might could. It looks like it looks like he has potential to draw.
If
I
he
don't know
takes
what
this round,
man. Yeah, if he takes this round, that's by Joe Goosen's scorecard though. That's the unofficial scorecard. Joe Goosen's going to do the scorecards, I guess, for this fight. I just totally disagree with what he's saying.
oh, he
I
hurt.
feel like
He
I
hurt.
feel like it's going to be a very big margin on the scorecard, on the official judges' scorecards. I feel like Adamas has pretty much dominated this fight.
He dominating with power shots. His power shots is dead. But combinations, Gusha is giving them combinations.
Well, I think that when you think about those combinations, how much is it affecting that fighter? Like, yes,
Well, it might not be effective, but that's why you score, right? The hits,
it is how you score. It is how you score, but
you know.
they go off of more effective punches. Like if you want
Ooh,
to look at it like
ooh.
this, you get probably 1.5 for a. Oh man, this is a really close fight though. They both have
So that
landed over
he said him like
100
five
punches,
body shots.
huh?
You saw that? Like five
Yeah,
body shots.
yeah. But this is what I'm saying. When there are power punches and you can see the effect on the fighter, I feel like you could say that's 1.5 points. I feel like landing a punch is a 1 point, and so when you see the margin is a big gap, it's because they might have landed 12 power punches supposed to the other person landing 15 punches, but those 12 power punches was very effective. And Gauch is fighting back. It's the last 30 seconds of the round 12. You got Gausha and Adamas going back and forth, back and forth. Oh, Gausha won the best of that exchange. Now Adamas is back. Gausha I feel like, won the best of that exchange. Maybe Gausha wins this round because this was one of his better rounds in this fight. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. This is a very close fight,
Oh,
and I
guys
feel like,
had back to back combos.
yeah,
He
yeah,
had
they
back
are.
to back combos. See,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He letting the hands go. Let him go.
yeah,
Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight
yeah,
is over.
yeah. I feel like if Gausha would have came out throwing his hands a little bit more,
Yeah.
like he was at the end of the fight, I feel like he may could have won this fight. But I don't feel like he won this fight. I feel like the scorecards will reflect it was a pretty. I mean, I feel like Adamas won at least the first 6 rounds. Uh, I think Gausha maybe 6, 7 rounds, maybe. I don't think Gausha won a
Touche.
round. They had him winning the 5th round, but I don't think he really won a round until later in the fight.
Yeah, touche, man. It's another. This is another classic example of holding your punches too much. Don't hold your punches, bro. Get
No.
down real with them joints, Holmes. It's
Yes.
got to go. It
Yeah.
has to go. Your hands have to go. There's no
Yeah.
other way for you to fight a fight but letting your hands go. Like you can be on your defense and all of that, but to fight a fight, you have to fight, bro. You
Yes.
cannot hold your punches back. You had some good combinations at the end of the joint. Like, why wasn't you doing that the whole fight? We
Yes.
probably wouldn't even be talking about this no type of uh discussion about who gonna be winning if you was throwing your hands like you was throwing your hands the last 4 rounds, the whole
Absolutely.
fight.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Maybe he beat. I mean, this is the thing. This was a good enough fight for them to do it again. You know,
Mm,
this
hmm
was a good enough fight for them to do it again. So, uh, I could potentially see them maybe fighting again. It wasn't so much of a fight where you just agree that one fighter or the next one won.
I know it's a different weight class, but besides Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder,
Yeah.
who has gone back to see each other in the ring as of late?
You see, I'm gonna announce this real quick, and I'll get back to you.
Go ahead, yeah.
Carlos Adamas wins by unanimous decision, 118 to 110 on all of the scorecards. Pretty much what I was saying. I didn't feel like he won a round till later in the fight, and now he is and still the WBC champion, Carlos Adamas. Now
And
we
he
can get
got
back to
18 knockouts.
yeah. That's what you expect in these bigger weight classes, a knockout. you don't really expect, you know. So, Big Son,
Yeah.
what do you feel about this first fight? How do you feel about?
Oh
Because
man, this first fight leaves big expectations on the board for the next ones. If you ask me, this
yes,
fight went 12 rounds. The last four were pretty decent for Garsha, but Adamas was still fighting regardless of what in those rounds. He was still fighting. He didn't get knocked down. So I believe this fight right here is has paved the way for a great night. So you can't do nothing but have great fights after this one. They can't do nothing but go up from here, in my opinion.
agreed,
Seeing what we just saw for them 12 rounds, that was pretty good fighting. If you ask me, that was a pretty good fight. So
agreed.
yeah.
Do you agree with the decision for Adamas to win?
Yeah, I don't think it was that far apart though.
You feel like it was closer than the
I think
scorecards?
it was a little closer than what the scorecards gave. Um, I agree that the
Hell
punches
no,
that
that joke wasn't close.
they didn't have to. It was closer than
Hell
that.
no,
It
that
was
fight
closer than that
wasn't
the
fucking
last four
close.
rounds.
But the last two rounds when he was throwing actual punches,
No, the last four. He won the last four rounds.
I
yeah,
don't
I
know,
don't agree
man.
with that. I don't agree
I
with
don't
that.
agree with him winning the last 4 rounds. I would say on Joe Goose's scorecard though, he had him winning the last 4 rounds. So maybe Big Son sees it a lot like Joe Goose sees it.
What I was saying, like I said, what I was saying was Adamas was hitting them with the shots, but like you say, they looked more at the power than than the punch itself. And the effect. So I mean, he was letting his hands go, but Adamas was bringing more power behind the shot.
Yeah, yeah. Adamas just I just feel like Adamas walked through him, and the problem with a fighter when you're getting hit with the heavier power punches, you got to be landing a lot more punches. If you're the one losing the power battle, but you're winning in the punch volume connection battle, then you could win that fight. But I don't feel like he was landing enough punches to move him back. Julio Cesar Chavez versus Frankie Randall, which was one of the first fights in the MGM Grand. Michael Moore, George Foreman was in the MGM Grand. You know, Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya. You know,
Mm.
that's
Well,
in the MGM Grand. The MGM Grand has held a lot of big fights. Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. In the
well,
MGM Grand.
Leo, you were speaking about the the boxing really not having an arena, and I was like, well, the only arena I can really remember the biggest fights being
Yeah,
fought in is at the MGM Grand.
yeah. The biggest fight ever there was Manny versus Floyd.
I mean,
But
that was one of the biggest, but as we just seen the list, it was big fights before that. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
that was the arena, but they don't have like worldwide, like basketball and all that type of stuff arenas. I see what you're
well,
saying there. They definitely need those.
exactly, exactly. I think that because it's only certain places you could fight, right? So you got like the Barclays, most main event appearances in the MGM Grand. Floyd Mayweather 15, Manny Pacquiao 14, Oscar De La Hoya 10, Mike Tyson 7, Eric Morales 7, Marco Antonio Barrera 6, and Canelo Alvarez 6. But going back to what you were saying, Big Son, yes, I agree with there. Like I was saying, that there are a need for more boxing arenas. Everyone don't have to be the MGM Grand. You
Mhm.
need boxing arenas. You need boxing arenas in every state almost. You need boxing arenas. If you want to push this sport, you really need to push the sport. You need to have it where, like, if you would live in
I think
Pennsylvania,
I think the part that I'm leaving out is that it's not fighters from every state. Fighters want to fight where they live at too, though. It's not a lot of. It's
yes,
not. It hasn't been a lot of fights that are held outside of a champion's hometown, unless they don't have anywhere to fight. And most of the basketball arenas are reused, or convention centers are reused for boxing in most states.
yes. Well, that's the thing. You
Oh,
can't
we got Frank
fill
Martin. We
up.
got Frank Martin right there.
Yeah,
What are you
yeah,
talking about?
okay. we can bring Frank up.
I'm gonna make him fight my fight. We're gonna see him fight the fight I want him to fight tonight.
Has he gotten under your skin at these press conferences and at the weigh-in?
Not one bit. Everything he done pulled, I tried to get myself tough skin, before coming into the fight and all that, So I was ready for all the antics that could have been
Score the fight.
delays and being late and all of that stuff. So I felt like I was prepared for anything that could have possibly happened. I prepared myself mentally for it. So nothing didn't bother me.
Best of luck, and we'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank.
All right.
All right, time now to get the tail of the bet for our next fight.
We're gonna let the betting analysis speak about this next fight coming up.
Holyfield 1. Yeah. Brian, it was Holyfield 2. I was here for that fight.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, I convinced him to bet the over. It went under 7.5 rounds. He's still mad at me 30 years later. I can tell you right now. But let's hope Gary Antoine Russell puts on a better show here. I think there's an opportunity to make some money here when you look at this one. -$7 here for Antoine Russell. No surprise, the heavy favorite. But if you like him to win by KO, TKO, or DQ, -180. If you like the other side, Puello, he is +475 on the money line. Brian, I'll tell you what, you got to have some stones here if you're going to take Puello, but he's got the experience. He's undefeated. But GAR,
yeah,
he's a man.
Yeah, absolutely. A man who has stones. Amal Shaw, of course.
Okay. And they were talking about the next fight, and that's Gary Antoine Russell versus Albert Puello. But back to what you were saying, V. No, there aren't world championship fighters in every state, but there are fighters in every state. More than likely, maybe like some weird place in the city in America doesn't have a fighter, but for the most part, you have boxing gyms throughout the country, and so I don't think that it's a major draw. So you can make those arenas a lot smaller, but you can build the fan base that way. In my opinion, you could put up smaller venues, and you could also use them, like you said, for like comedy shows, for basketball tournaments, little stuff like that, where it's not as many people, but you can definitely build those and start to build the brand. I don't think that there's like a real brand of boxing, with the exception of Las Vegas. So,
Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Premier Boxing Champions presents an interim world title attraction.
So Jimmy Lennon Jr. is going to bring you a little bit of the ring announcement. Right now, I'm just letting y'all know this now. I feel like Gary Antoine Russell is one of the best fighters in the 140-pound division. He doesn't have a lot of fights. Albert Puello is one of those better fighters. This is going to be a really good fight. And Gary Antoine Russell is 17-0, 17 knockouts. Albert Puello, 22-0, 10 knockouts. So the power, you would say, goes to Gary Antoine Russell. This is going to be for the, I believe, interim title, if I'm not mistaken. The 140-pound interim title. So Albert Puello, age 29, 5'9.5", weight 139 3/4, fighting out of San Juan I can't really pronounce that, but that's Dominican Republic. Former WBA world champion. So this is a guy that won a championship at his first weight class and moved up. And you see that a lot when you see former champion. It doesn't mean that they lost. It just means that they are no longer in that weight class and they had to vacate the belt and move up to a weight class. Now you have Gary Antoine Russell, 17-0 with 17 knockouts, age 28, 5'10". His weigh-in was 138 1/4 pound. He fights out of Capitol Heights, Maryland. 14 out of his 17 knockouts come in the first 4 rounds. So when you talk about power, he's from a fighting family, Gary Russell. This is I don't know how both their names is Gary Russell, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. They brothers. They look just alike, too.
Hey, the announcers, they love when somebody close to DC. They say he's hailing out of DC. If you ask that man where he from, he gonna say Capitol Heights, Maryland.
Yeah.
Come on,
But
man.
I will say that the Russells are active in the DC boxing scene. They are really active. They trained at Headbangers. They've trained with a couple different guys in the DC boxing scene. So when I guess you could say because I'm pretty sure that he trained a lot in DC, but his hometown is Capitol Heights, Maryland, like Big Son said, and we want to keep it like that on the real.
No question.
Yeah. I mean, so we in the round one, man. I can just let you guys know if you haven't seen these two fighters fight, you're going to be in for a very good welcome and surprise right here. You guys are going to see some, two really good boxers right here.
Hey, the
And round
referee look like the flight attendant off Soul Plane.
this is for the this is for the WBC Interim World Super Lightweight title. Gary Russell versus Alba Puello. And right now, Russell is going in straight off the jump. He is a power puncher. He is a volume puncher. He's somebody that's going to stay on that front foot. He can box on the back foot, but he's a guy that likes to stay on that front foot. Puello is kind of the same way, but Puello is more of a Latin style boxer where they want to hit the body and they want to kind of move forward, but they definitely want to hit the body. But Puello is moving
Say,
very well, moving very
yeah,
very
well,
well.
give me the form like De La Hoya used to fight.
Something like that, yeah, something like that. I can agree there. You know, you got Russell though, man. I got Russell in this fight. I'm gonna just say this now. I think Russell is he just a tenacious fighter, man. He's one of those guys that just gonna go at you and stay going at you for the whole night. And your man Puello, look, if you could see Gary Antoine Russell's hair, you could tell that Puello used his glove to pull Antoine Russell forward, because it took out a little bit of his cornrows.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
He got the he got the old dirty bastard joint going on right now.
Yeah, but that is not a legal move. I would say that is not a legal move. You cannot use your glove to pull a fighter like by
Yeah.
the head towards you.
This
You
ain't
just can't
Street
do
Fighter. You ain't Sub Zero. I know you got the blue joints on. I mean, not Sub Zero, but Scorpion.
it. So right now, it's been a
Ooh,
pretty
he dodged a
even,
bullet right there.
yeah, pretty even fight so far. Nobody's really landed anything of significance. Puello's throwing very hard shots, so is Russell, but nobody's really landing anything of significance for this first round. Uh, I like to usually say a lot of first rounds are swing rounds, depending on what style of fight the judges like. And so until somebody lands something of significance, this is a swing round. You can give it to Russell, you can give it to Puello.
Mm.
Yeah, Puello is throwing with bad intentions, though. I will tell you that. But Gary Antoine Russell has very good defense. Very, very good defense.
Yeah, Gary Anton Russell, God kind of remind me of his defensive style kind of remind me of Winky a little bit. All right, keep that guard up.
Well, they called Winky they called Winky's defense the Iron Shield. He would
Mm,
literally he would be like this, boom, boom, and you couldn't get through that
yeah,
Iron Shield. So when
yeah,
we see Russell, he's a little bit wider, but you see that Iron Shield come up quite a bit as well. So I agree with you, Big Son, a lot on that.
same using it, yeah. So
Yeah.
good round, man. Good first round.
Yeah. So look, Gary Allen Russell Jr. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. is his brother, which is his trainer. Gary Allen Russell is his second in assists, and James Hogan is his cut man. And Gary Antoine Russell is fighting. So I don't know about naming all your kids Gary, but
Hey,
but
Leo. Hey, Leo. You know when you were saying that your man Shakur was
yeah,
like he was ready to see my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you think about Boots?
Boots is at 147.
No, just what you think
So
about it.
I think he's great. I think he's great.
He
I
can't. He
really
can't.
do.
He
I
can't. He
think
can't. He can't see my man Bud, bro. All right. He
no,
got
no,
spanked
he
three
can't.
times. He got spanked 3 times by Russell. All right, 3 times, three
Well,
separate times. So it wasn't like all in one weekend. 3 times. All right.
that's amateur though, bro. That's headgear.
Who?
So
Okay, you tell me who, and you're a fight historian. Tell me who is fought in their amateurs that didn't get whooped when they fought again.
well, I mean, if you look at it like Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia split 3-3. But when you seen them in the ring together, I mean, Ryan Garcia dominated.
Ryan Garcia had to get a whole nother trainer and a whole nother fight coach for that fight to look that way. All right,
Yeah,
and they were split, which means that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying one guy that beat the crap out of one of them all the times they fought, and then when they turned pros, they got their get back. Majority of the time, it's not like that. Vernon Forrest, Shane Mosley was the same way.
yeah,
All the fights he was good at, he hopped in the ring with him as a pro. He got smacked because this is the guy that was already beating you when you were younger.
yeah. Now I will say that, but it's been a lot of fighters that let me what's the
Patio
fight
throwing some shots, man.
beat Bud
I
Crawford in
mean, they
amateur?
trading.
Do Yeah, Bud Crawford beat Danny Garcia beat Bud Crawford in the amateurs. Do I think Danny Garcia stands a chance of beating Bud Crawford now? Hell no. No offense to Danny. I really rock with Danny. I rock with Danny Garcia, but he can't beat Bud right now. And so they were trading right now, but right now it's a little bit of a standoff. Neither one of these fighters have taken this fight over. They're still pretty even. And honestly, Puello is I mean, even though I pick Russell, I feel like Puello is having very good defense as well. He's not
Yeah.
getting hit, very often by Russell. And Russell is a very accurate puncher. I mean, this is a very good defensive fight though. Like both of those guys are dodging the biggest hits that their opponent is throwing at them. But
Mm.
I don't know, man. Like the amateurs, the reason I say it's the amateurs, right? Because and just like sparring, you have bigger gloves and you have headgear. When you have bigger gloves and headgear, it changes the fight because the person with more power, that hurts their style of fighting. You got a guy that could probably outbox a power puncher, but if they fought with regular like 8-ounce gloves, the power puncher is going to win. And so Boots,
Yeah.
I don't think Boots could beat Bud at all, but I do think Boots is the best 147-pound fighter in the world right now because Bud is at 154. I think Boots might could beat Spence.
You got Boots being able to beat Shakur.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but because Boots
We was
is
just
big
talking
and
about
quick.
Shakur. We were just talking about Shakur Stevenson beating some class guys yesterday. Now, what is going on?
Well, it's just weight class. It's the weight class.
Okay,
Shakur's at
okay, okay,
135. Yeah.
okay.
So if they were to fight, right? If they were to fight, that means Shakur would have to go up in weight.
Got you,
You know
got
what
you,
I
got you,
mean?
got you, got you,
And if
got
he
you,
got
got
to
you.
go
Right,
up
right.
in weight against Boots, Boots might have to come down a little bit because they would have to
Uh-huh.
fight at a catch weight. But Boots would probably dominate him being the bigger fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's two weight
Right, right,
classes
right.
away. Right now, I think Boots need to
Hey,
try to get a big fight though. Because people haven't seen his real, they haven't seen him in the ring like a lot of people haven't seen him fight. So I mean, he got 31 fights, but he hasn't had any real big fights. This last fight against Roman Villa was probably his biggest fight. And I mean, in that fight, V, your man went slow-mo, stole him, dodged his punch, went slow-mo again and hit him with a slow jab, bro. It looked
mm,
crazy, bro. It didn't even look real.
Patio,
It didn't even look real,
Patio,
bro. And Gary Russell
Patio
went
throwing
front
some
foot.
good batting joints, man. He got
Yes.
some good batting, good power batting shots coming in there
Oh
with
yeah.
that right hand.
Yeah. I can say this. I feel like Russell is starting to take control of the distance. And I feel like that may pay some dividends very soon. Because if he can continue to control the distance, I mean his hand speed is good. he's doing a really good job. Puelo, I don't like the way that he's throwing one punch and running. Like, and when I mean running, I don't mean he's literally running. He's like throwing one punch and then backing up. There's not a lot of combinations there. See, 1, 1, 2, not a lot of like real combinations. He's not throwing more than 2 punches on a combination for real. And Russell is looking to throw at least 3 or better. But Russell hasn't been able to get there with his jab as much as he would like to.
He stopped him right there.
I mean, yeah, he finally got him. This is a good fight, but
yeah, it's a good fight. Then Russell came right back with a look like a hook and another straight. Oh, now Russell just gave him a mean combination.
Oh man, Russell just landed a good overhand right. I don't think that Puelo's hurt, but it was a good shot. This is going to be a very good fight, and unless one of them could start to land
I think he
clean,
might have just hurt